You just mark the answers in your notebook. Need not to give the answers in the chat. Yes, finish writing first question. So this is the second one. So this is just a direct question. You can answer easily. Yeah, I'll show you the third question now. So this is the third one. Yeah, finish third one. So now this is the fourth question. Fifth question. Students, when choosing the option for such kind of questions, like you have to choose either correct one or wrong one. Please be sure like whether they have asked you correct or not correct. Sometimes you like you may get a chance of getting mistake like this. You will not read the question properly and you will choose the incorrect statement instead of choosing the correct statement. Fifth question is done. Shall I show you the next one? So question number 6. Please do fast. We have 25 questions to complete. After 10 questions, I will discuss the answers. Okay. So then we can move on to the next following questions. So what I'm showing now is question number 6. Seventh one. Again, select the statement from the ones given. And choose the answer. Just reading the first statement itself, don't decide this is the correct one. Sometimes you may have two correct, like similar correct statements, but in that case, you have to choose the best one. Step one. Yeah, finish writing seventh one. This is eighth question. This is eighth one. My voice is breaking for you. I think net is down. This is eighth question. Again, you have to choose the correct statement with respect to AIDS. Then ninth question. This is one. Okay, fine. Now I'll discuss the answers to this first 10 questions. Then we can go to the 11th one. Okay. Now see the first question. Which one of the following is the correct statement regarding the particular psychotropic drugs? Okay. You know what you mean by psychotropic drugs? The drugs which affects the central nervous system. It is called a psychotropic drug. Okay. The first option is morphine leads to delusions and disturbed emotion. Morphine is an opiate narcotic, and delusions and illusions are caused by hallucinogens, okay, not by the narcotics. So the first statement is wrong. Second one, barbiturates causes relaxation and temporary euphoria. Euphoria will be caused by, again, opiate narcotics and not by barbiturates, because barbiturates are students. Yeah, sorry, something happened. Okay. Yeah, we are discussing the first one, right? Yes. So barbiturates. The third one, hashish afterthought perception and hallucination. Yes, this afterthought perception, hallucinations, they are characteristic of hallucinogen. So hallucinogen, marijuana, all these comes under hallucinogen. Okay. Then the last one, opium stimulates nervous system and causes hallucination. Opium will not cause hallucination, and also it is not a stimulant. It is a narcotic, right? Narcotic means then it will not stimulate your nervous system. It will reduce the activity of nervous system. So the correct statement here is option C. Okay. Now the second question. So see the second question. To which type of barrier under innate immunity? Under innate immunity, we discussed four different barriers. Do you remember? Physical barrier, physiological barrier, cellular barrier, and the last one is cytokinin barrier. So do saliva in mouth and tears. Saliva, tears, all they come under the secretions, right? Saliva, tears, sebum, HCl, all the body secretions, they comes under the physiological barrier. Because physical barrier is your skin and mucous membrane. Cytokine barrier includes interferons, interleukins, cytokines, lymphokines, etc. And cellular barrier includes your WBC cells, which include some phagocytic cells, NK cells, everything. Okay. So the correct answer is option A. Now the third one, you have to match the disease in column 1 with the appropriate item. It may be a pathogen or prevention or treatment in column 2. See, first one is amoebiasis. Amoebiasis also called as amoebic dysentery, and this is like in amoebiasis or amoebic dysentery, you will have severe loss of water from your body, and that can be replaced by oral rehydration therapy. No, like we can go, see, cholera is best for oral rehydration therapy. So you can go for sterilized food and water. Sterilized food and water means contaminated food and water will causes this amoebic dysentery, right? If you are using sterilized food and water, you can prevent this amoebiasis. Then diphtheria, DPT vaccine, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus vaccine. Cholera is rehydration, oral rehydration therapy should be given as a treatment. Syphilis, Treponema pallidum. That is the syphilis is a bacterial disease caused by the bacterial organism Treponema pallidum. It is a sexually transmitted disease. So A is 2, B is 3, C is 4, and D is 1. So the correct answer is option B. Okay. Now the next question, this is just a direct question, antihistamines and steroids. So they can be given as a treatment in case of allergy. Why? Because in allergy, inflammation will be there. This inflammation will be caused by the mast cells which secrete histamine, serotonin, such hormones. Okay, to reduce the inflammation, they will give antihistamines and steroids as the medicine. Then fifth question, which one of the following statement is correct? Benign tumor show the property of metastasis? Wrong. Only malignant tumor, not benign tumor. Heroin accelerate body function? No. Heroin is a narcotic. It is not a stimulant. Accelerating means stimulating. Malignant tumor may exhibit metastasis. Yes, malignant tumor either can do invasion or can exhibit metastasis. Patients who have undergone surgery are given cannabinoids to relieve pain. Cannabinoids are hallucinogen. They cannot be given for relieving pain. For relieving pain, either some analgesic will be given. Analgesic can be opiate narcotics. Okay, so the correct one is option C. Now sixth one, a person likely to develop tetanus. Tetanus, you know, like after injury or wound, we will be given this tetanus toxoid vaccine. This vaccine always consists of either dead or what is that, attenuated pathogens. Okay, but tetanus, this person is immunized by administering tetanus toxins to be preformed antibodies. Okay, it is said to be preformed antibodies, where you will this preformed antibodies comes under passive immunity. Okay, then select the correct statement. The one, barbiturates when given to criminals make them tell the truth. Actually, barbiturate is a sedative. If you give sedative, they will sleep, they will not tell the truth and all. Okay, so this is totally wrong statement. Then morphine is often given to persons who have undergone surgery as a painkiller. Yes, just now I told you morphine is a like opiate narcotic, and it will be used for morphine is a opiate narcotic and it is used for relieving pain. Okay, so this statement is correct. Chewing tobacco lowers blood pressure and heart rate. Chewing tobacco increases your blood pressure. It will not lower. Cocaine is given to patients after surgery as it stimulates recovery. What is cocaine? Cocaine is a stimulant, right? It is taken from the coca plant, Erythroxylum coca. The stimulant, no, it will not stimulate the recovery, right? It will stimulate your nervous system to be active. It will make your brain cells to be active. So the correct one is option B. Then eighth one. Which one of the following statement is correct with respect to AIDS? The first one, HIV can be transmitted through eating food together with an infected person. No, HIV will not contaminate through skin or the skin contact or eating food. By mouth kissing, not transfer from one person to other person. The second one is drug addicts are least susceptible to HIV infection. Drug addicts are highly susceptible. Okay, HIV infection highly spreads because of using drugs in the gang. Okay, with the same syringe without sterilizing it. AIDS patients are fully cured 100% with proper care and nutrition. No, you cannot cure the AIDS person 100% because there is no complete treatment for AIDS. You can just increase the lifespan of the organism. Okay. The causative HIV retrovirus, it enters the helper T cells and thus reduce the number. Yes, it is correct. Because the helper T cells number got down, the antibody production will be stopped in HIV. So option D is the right answer. Consider the following 4 regarding kidney transplant and select the 2 correct ones. I think some options are missing here. What are the 2 correct ones? Okay, let us see what are among the 4 statements, what are the correct statement. Even if a kidney transplant is proper, the recipient may need to take immunosuppressants for a long time. Yes, recipient after surgery, in the post-surgery period, they have to take immunosuppressant to prevent the graft rejection process. Okay, this is correct. The cell-mediated immune response is responsible for the graft rejection. Yes, cell-mediated immune response is supplied by your T cells, and your T cells are the maximum 80%, and they are responsible for the graft rejection and not your B cells. Okay. And the next statement, B lymphocytes are responsible for graft rejection, is wrong, because B lymphocytes, it provides immunity called as humoral immunity. This is an antibody mediated immunity. It is not responsible for graft rejection. And D, the acceptance of rejection of a kidney transplant depends on specific interferons. Interferons are actually antiviral glycoproteins. These interferons will be activated in our body only if viral particle enters into the body and not because of graft rejection. Okay. So the 2 correct ones are A and B. If the options are there, you have to choose the option which is having A and B. Okay. Now, 10th question, where will you look for the sporozoids of the malarial parasite? Sporozoid is the infective stage of the plasmodium. So, where you can see the sporozoid? When the mosquito bites, when the infected mosquito that is carrying the plasmodium bites a person, this sporozoid will enter into the blood. From blood, it will move to the liver. And from liver, it will move to your RBC. These are the target organs of your plasmodium, but sporozoid, it will be present in liver for half an hour. Okay, circulating in the blood, not inside the RBC. Okay, and after that it will go to liver. There it will undergo some process, and then it will move to RBC. Now the first option is red blood corpuscles of humans suffering from malaria. It is not in the red blood. When it is present in the RBC, it will be present in different form. So the first one is wrong. Spleen of infected, it will not at all go to spleen. Salivary glands of freshly molted female Anopheles mosquito. All mosquito will not have this sporozoids, right? Only the infected mosquito will have this sporozoid. So it is also wrong. The saliva of female infected Anopheles mosquito is correct. Infected means mosquito is not infected. The organism has entered into the particular mosquito is called as infected mosquito. Okay. So saliva of female Anopheles mosquito, which is said to be infected, will have this sporozoid. So option D is the right answer. Now I will show you the next 10 questions from 11 to 20. This is the 11th question. This is 11th one, ma.
तो एक दो शॉर्ट है
Yeah, 12th one. Please see all the 3 and then you find out which one is the correct matching. Okay, don't simply compare the organism and disease alone. You have to see the mode of infection also. Disease, causative organism, and the mode of infection. Okay, so only if all the 3 are correct, you have to choose that option. Yeah. 13th question. Showing you the 13th one. This is 14th question. Fifteenth one. Sixteenth question. Seventeenth question. This is 17th ma. Question number 17. Eighteenth one. This is question number 18. Viper snake means it is one breed of snake ma, that is we call it as a Cuttlevirian, right? That snake is called as viper. 19th. This is question number 19. Question number 20. Question number 21. Only 5 more questions are left. You just finish it off, then I will explain all. Question number 21. What I am showing now is question number 21. Students, still many of you are not submitting your homework. See, again and again we are telling, please don't take it very easy, okay? It is a very important thing. If you want to have your internal marks, internal 30 marks, please do your regular homework. Submit in the Learnity portal. We are getting some students list, those who are not at all submitting. They are not skipping, like they are not at all submitting. We are not getting those students homework. If you are not doing that, then you will be losing marks. Then question number 22. This is question number 22. Then question number 23. See, once when you submit, the next day it will not be there. Every day we are posting the questions, right? So it will get automatically deleted, I think so. But I'm not sure of that. If you have any doubts, you can call to Seeker's office number and you can ask your doubts. They will explain you properly. This is question number 24. This is question number 24. And the last one, question number 25. This is the last question. Okay, come soon, students. Last 15 minutes, I have to discuss the class after completing this. Okay, this is the 11th question. Now take your notebook and check out whether the answers are correct. Now I'm going to discuss the 11th one. Okay, so see the 11th one. The pathogen Microsporum responsible for ringworm disease in humans belongs to the same kingdom of organism as that. Okay, Microsporum, the organism that causes ringworm is Taenia pedis, and this may belong to the genre of Microsporum, Trichodermophyton, or Epidermophyton. And all these organisms belongs to which kingdom? They belongs to kingdom fungi, right? So kingdom fungi, then you have to choose the organism which is belonging to the same kingdom fungi. Now see the first one, Taenia. Taenia tapeworm, no, it belongs to Platyhelminthes. So A cannot be the answer. B, Wuchereria bancrofti, a filarial worm that belongs to Ascalminthus or Nemathelminthus. And option C, Rhizopus. Rhizopus is a bread mold, commonly called as bread mold, is a fungi. Okay. Then Ascaris is a roundworm. Roundworm, it also belongs to phylum Ascalminthus. So the correct answer, the organism that belongs to kingdom fungi is option C. Option C, Rhizopus, a mold. That is the correct answer for this question. Okay. Option C, Rhizopus. Then the next question, 12th one. Which one of the following gives the correct matching of a disease with its causative organism and mode of infection? Now see the first one, typhoid disease, causative organism Salmonella typhi, correct. It is not infected through inspired air. It is from contaminated food and water. Cholera, typhoid, botulism, all these are transmitted through contaminated food and contaminated water. Second one, pneumonia, Streptococcus pneumoniae. Now that is a spelling mistake. Droplet infection. Yes, correct. Elephantiasis, Wuchereria bancrofti. It is not because of infected food and water. It is because of the bite of female Culex mosquito. Right? Malaria, Plasmodium vivax, bite of Anopheles mosquito is correct, but it is not male. It is female Anopheles mosquito. So the correct one is option B alone. Okay. Now the 13th question. Select the correct statement with respect to disease and immunization. Now see the first one. If due to some reason B and T lymphocytes are damaged, the body will not produce antibodies against a pathogen. Yes, correct, because B and T lymphocytes, in your B lymphocytes, plasma B cells, with the help of T helper cells produce the antibody. If they are damaged, then antibody production will not happen. So it is a correct one. Injection of dead or inactivated pathogen causes active immunity. No, dead or inactivated pathogens, they are like, they will give you, they are not passive, it is active. Okay. Certain protozoans have been used in mass production of hepatitis B vaccine. Hepatitis B vaccine will be produced from virus because the causative organism for hepatitis is virus, not a protozoa. Injection of snake antivenom against snake bite is an example of passive immunization, not active. Correct one is option A. 14th question. Which one of the following human organs is often called the graveyard of RBC? Spleen is called as the graveyard of RBCs. What are the other important role of spleen? Spleen is a secondary lymphoid organ, right? And then spleen is called as the blood bank of your body. And it is also called as the graveyard of RBCs, right? Then 15th question. Which one of the following organism is scientifically correctly named, correctly printed according to the international rules of nomenclature and correctly described? Plasmodium falciparum. You know the rules of binomial nomenclature, right? Genus name should start with capital letter and species name should start with a small letter, right? Plasmodium falciparum, it is a causative organism for malaria. It is a protozoa, correct? Causing the most serious type of malaria. Yes, what is the type of malaria? Malignant or pernicious or cerebral malaria. Okay. Second one, Felis tigris, the Indian tiger. It is Felis tigris. It is Panthera tigris, not Felis tigris. That is wrong. E. coli full name is Entamoeba coli, a commonly occurring bacteria. Entamoeba coli is a protozoa. Bacteria E. coli is Escherichia coli. It is not Entamoeba coli. Fine. So that is also wrong. Musca domestica, the common house lizard. Musca domestica is the biological name of house fly. It is not a reptile. It is an insect. Correct one here is option A. Then 16th question. Which one of the following statement is correct with respect to immunity? The antibodies against smallpox pathogen are produced by T lymphocytes. Will T lymphocytes produce antibodies? B lymphocytes are responsible for producing antibodies. T lymphocytes will help them. Okay. And that's why the immunity provided by B cells is called as antibody mediated immunity or humoral immunity. The second one, antibodies are protein molecules. Yes. Each of which has 4 light chains. 2 light chains and 2 heavy chains. Again, the second statement is also wrong. Rejection of a kidney graft is the function of B lymphocyte? No, it is the function of T lymphocyte. Preformed antibodies need to be injected to treat the bite by a viper snake. Viper snake is a poisonous snake. So anti-snake venom will be given, that is said to be preformed antibody. This is the correct statement. Now, in which one of the following options, the 2 examples are correctly matched particular type of immunity? Cellular barrier. Polymorphonuclear leukocytes and monocytes. Leukocytes are WBC. Monocyte involved in phagocytosis. Correct. Anti-tetanus, anti-snake bite. They both are passive, not active. Saliva in mouth and tears in eyes. Physical barrier. They comes under physiological barrier. They are not physical. Mucus coating of epithelium lining, urinogenital tract and HCl in stomach. HCl is physiological, correct? But remaining to the mucus coating, no, it is a physical barrier. It is not a physiological barrier. So the correct one is only A. 18th question. Infection of Ascaris usually. Ascaris causes the disease called as Ascariasis. And Ascariasis is also a disease which is caused by contaminated food and water. Drinking water containing eggs of Ascaris, yes, because the infective stage of Ascaris is embryonated egg. Do you remember the infective stage I told you in Ascariasis? Embryonated egg, this egg will be present in the contaminated water. Eating imperfectly cooked pork, no. CC fly, no. Mosquito bite, no. Correct answer is option A. What is this plant? Can you tell what is this plant? Only if you know what is this plant, you can choose the answer. Yes, very good. It is the flower of Datura. Okay, Datura flower. So this flower of Datura, it is having the property of hallucination. So the compounds producing hallucinations are called as hallucinogen. Okay, so the answer is option A. Which of the following immunoglobulin does constitute the largest percentage in human milk? If they are asking only largest percentage, then you have to go for option C. But they are asking you in human milk in the sense, then it is IgA, which is the present in the colostrum of human milk, highly present in the colostrum of human milk. And IgM, no, this is the largest immunoglobulin in its size. IgG is the most highly present immunoglobulin in our body. And IgD, no, it is the immunoglobulin which supports your IgE for allergic disorder. Got it? Then 21st question. Asthma may be attributed by, asthma is an allergic disorder. Directly you can go for the answer. Allergic reaction of the mast cells in the lungs. Mast cells, they are responsible for the production of histamines, serotonin for causing the inflammation. 21. In higher vertebrate, the immune system can distinguish self and non-self. If this property is lost due to genetic abnormality, then it attacks the self cells. So what is that? It is called as autoimmune disorder. I listed you so many autoimmune disorders, right? So they are because of your NK cells not able to differentiate your self and non-self, and they will start producing antibodies against your self cells, and it will start attacking the own organs in your body. Okay. Antivenom injection contains preformed antibodies. Okay, so this is an example for passive immunity. While polio drop is a vaccine, right? Vaccines will have either dead or attenuated pathogen. Attenuated means partially killed pathogens. So the answer is option D. Okay. Which of the following is correct regarding AIDS causative agent HIV? HIV is an enveloped virus. Yes, this is correct. It consists of 2 single-stranded RNA, correct. 2 molecules of reverse transcriptase, correct. All the thing given in the first one is correct. HIV is unenveloped retrovirus, wrong. HIV does not escape but attacks the acquired immune response. It escapes. HIV is enveloped virus containing 1 molecule is wrong, and 1 molecule of reverse transcriptase is also wrong. So the correct answer is option A. The last question. Malt constitutes about, what is malt? Mucus associated lymphoid tissue which comes under your secondary lymphoid organ, and this constitutes about 50% of the lymphoid tissue present in the human body. Like malt, another one what we have is gut associated lymphoid tissue which will be present only in the alimentary canal. This accounts only for a small percentage. Malt is the one which is present 50% in the human body. Okay. Antivenom has preformed antibodies. Yeah. Is correct. Which question it is? It is harvested antibodies, no? Antivenom injection contains preformed antibodies. Of course, it is correct. The question is, antivenom injection is having preformed antibody. What is polio drops? How it is? What it is containing? So polio drops is a vaccine. It contains dead or attenuated pathogens. So the option is D. Okay, anybody 25 out of 25? Those who have got 25 out of 25 alone, chat. 25, very good. 1 girl, 2, 3. Super, super. Very nice. Yeah, many students. Are you telling the truth or simply telling like 25, 25? Yes, very good, very good. Many of you. Yes, human health and disease. You wrote for 2 times, right? First time till immunity and second time the complete chapter. Now third time you are going to write. So students, please don't mistakes again and again. I hope I have covered all the concept. I have discussed the questions from diseases part also, immunology part, and also from drug addiction. Yes, am I right? I didn't ask in alcohol. Alcohol, already many things. Datura plant was tougher. See, the Datura plant, the flower is there. By seeing that, you cannot identify it as Datura. Okay, fine, students. Okay, others, no problem. You have still time. Tomorrow, one day, full day is there. You sit and prepare for the exam and take good marks on Sunday. Okay. Sunday, please see, this is a unit test, cumulative test. Please try to get good marks. Okay. Question paper is easy, very easy. Not like last time. Okay. So you can easily score 300 plus. Try to get 300 plus. Not 300 plus. Try to get 360. And if not, at least try to get more than 300, not below 300. Okay, fine. Yes, okay, we can move on to the class. We'll have some 15 minutes class, students. I'll just give you the introduction. Then Monday we can discuss in depth. Okay. Fine, I'll start in our next one. So yesterday what we were discussing? I told you about the growth model, right? The two different growth model. One is the exponential growth model we discussed, where we will get a J-shaped curve, where there are unlimited resources, predator-free environment. In those cases, we will have this type of growth population. Yes, and we discussed the equation dn by dt is equal to b minus d into n, which can be written as r into n. R is the intrinsic rate of increase. Okay, and the second type of population growth what we discussed is logistic growth. So logistic growth, here the resources will be limited, predators will be available, there will be competition between the organisms. Under this case, the logistic growth will form a S-shaped curve, which is called as the sigmoid shaped curve. And this S-shaped curve, no, it will have three phases. Initially lag phase, then log phase, and finally when it reaches the carrying capacity, it will attain the stationary phase. And what is the equation for this? dn by dt is equal to Rn into k minus n divided by k. This can be written as Rn into 1 minus n by k. And you know what are the variables representing? N is the number of individual, t is the time, and dn by dt is you are differentiating the number of individuals with respect to time. R is the intrinsic rate of increase, B is the birth rate, D is the death rate, B minus D is increase or decrease in population size. Then what else? K. K is the carrying capacity of the environment. Yesterday I told you what is carrying capacity. The maximum number of individuals the environment can support. Okay. And 1 minus n by k represents the environmental resistance. I gave you the definition for environmental resistance. When the natural factors like calamities, disease outbreak, or if there is any shortage of resource, all these will keep on, they have an impose a check on the population. Okay. And this is called as environmental resistance. And one more thing I want to discuss under this. Yesterday I didn't tell because of like class got over in time. So you just write this. The K, no, carrying capacity. You know what is K? K is the carrying capacity of what? Individual or environment? K is the carrying capacity of environment or individual. All up. K represents the carrying capacity of dash. It is environment, not the organisms or population. Okay, please do be clear. It is not the carrying capacity of the individual population or anything. It is the carrying capacity of environment, how much it can hold the number of organisms. So this K, no, it depends upon the carrying capacity of the environment, depends upon three components. Okay, all environmental condition will not be same, right? In some environment, you can see more number of species. In some environment, you can see very less number of species. That carrying capacity of the environment depends upon three different components. Let me tell you what are the three different components the environmental capacity will depend. The first component is the productive system of the environment. So what do you mean by productive system? Productivity. Who will produce? Who will produce? Plants. So productive system, or obviously it includes the plants. The plants present in the environment which provide us with food and also fibers. Food and fibers, right? These are the two main components we are getting from plants. So based on the productive system of the environment, the carrying capacity will vary. Now the second one is, you just think of an environment without plants. Do any animals survive there? Without producers, consumers can be present. No, obviously no, right? So based on the productive system, the carrying capacity of the environment will vary. And second one is based on the protective system. Protective system is, it represents the environmental condition prevailing in a particular environment. That is, it includes forest, ocean, desert, etc. All these region which regulates the temperature and precipitation. In the starting, I told you, right? Do you remember several changes in the temperature and precipitation? They help in the formation of biome. Okay, so only if the temperature and precipitation are favorable in a particular environment, organisms will be present in that environment. Okay, or else only some organisms which can adapt to the environment will be available. And the third component is the waste assimilative system. So what do you mean by waste assimilative system? You know, like we every day from our domestic usage, industrial usage, so many, like a lot of waste materials are being disposed of, right, in the soil, and carbon dioxide which is disposed in the air, and in water also we are disposing so many waste products, and these waste products need to be assimilated. That is, biogeochemical cycle should happen. You would have studied in your 8th or 9th class about nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, oxygen cycle, water cycle. All these are biogeochemical cycles. Only if this biogeochemical cycle takes place in an environment, there will be that is, cycling of nutrients will be there, and only if cycling of nutrients is there, plants can grow in that particular environment. Only if plants are there, animals can sustain all these things. Okay, so what do you mean by this waste assimilative system? I will write, you just note down this. It is the generation of waste material, generation in abiotic factors, which means in air, water and soil. How this generation of waste material is being assimilated by the microorganisms, and they are turning them into nutrients, converting the breaking down the organic matter into insoluble form, inorganic nutrients. Okay, and those inorganic nutrients will be used by the living organisms for their survival. So these three components are very important components that determines the carrying capacity of the environment. Okay, so the value of K, it depends upon three components. Okay, you just copy this. Finish writing, ma? Okay, so with this, the second topic in your population is growth model. Growth model is over. Now we are going to the last topic in this chapter. Last topic, just view the introduction and discuss about this in detail on Monday. Last topic in this lesson is population. Okay, in organism level, what you studied, how will interact with the how organisms interact environment. In population, we see how living organisms are going to interact among themselves. Like if you take living organisms, what are the living organisms? You will say plants, animals, and microorganisms, right? So these are the living organisms. Now all these living organisms know they are interdependent on each other. They are interdependent. Some they are interdependent. Plant is dependent on animal and microorganism. Animal is dependent on plant and microorganism. Microorganisms are dependent on plants and animals. Some way or other, they are interdependent. Okay, you cannot say any living organism cannot live in isolation. So no species, no living organism or no living species can survive alone. That is, alone means independently. Okay, then you may ask me one question. Plants are all autotrophic in nature. Why they should depend on other organisms? I will tell you. Plants are autotrophic. Yes, of course you are right. They can synthesize their own food. How they will synthesize their food? They will take carbon dioxide from air. They will take water from air. These are abiotic factors. Leave it. Okay. Now, plants need nutrients, right? Nutrients from where do they take? They take the nutrients from soil. How do soil will have the nutrients? Only because of microorganisms. If you think of the world without microorganisms, all the dead bodies of plants and animals will remain as it is. Okay, they will not be decomposed. If dead organisms are decomposed, how nutrients will be cycled again and again? So this nutrients needed for the plant growth and development or for the photosynthesis process, everything they are dependent on soil, and in soil they are indirectly dependent on microorganisms. And plants are also dependent on animals. Can you say how? For pollination, if it's not there, place, because not in all species of plants. Some species of plants they depend on pollination. Some sorry, decomposition process, and microorganisms they are dependent on plants and parasites. Okay, like this, all living organisms the of different community. The interaction is called interaction. Interaction living organisms. So you can write interaction, interdependency, or the interactions taking place among the living organisms. Among the living organisms for some purpose. Any purpose. You cannot say only food. It may be the reason for some purpose. Yeah, students, I'm back. Sorry, signal problem. Fine. See, these interactions I told you, no, the living organisms will interact with one another. So these living organisms, when they are interacting, suppose you just think about a bacteria which is living in your body. Okay, that is, it is a like harmful bacteria which is living in human body. Now, tell me, these two organisms are interacted with one another now. There is interaction between bacteria and human body. Now, in these two organisms, can you say both are getting benefited? No, only bacteria will be benefited because it is a parasite. It is dependent on this human body for its food, shelter, reproduction, everything. But human body, no, it will be affected because this is a harmful bacteria. It is a parasite. It will cause disease to this human body, right? So this type of interactions, no, always it will not be beneficial. Now you are able to see the screen. Now you are able to see the screen, ma? Yes, okay. See, some students are asking me to explain this, how living organisms are dependent on one another. I will tell you, living organisms are interdependent between themselves. Okay, how they are interdependent? If you take a plant will be dependent on microorganisms, because if the plant want to get nutrients from the soil, microorganisms will decompose and it will make the nutrient available in the soil. And a plant will be dependent on animal for pollination process. Only if animals, insects are there, pollination will occur and sexual reproduction will occur in the angiosperms, and so the particular species of plants can breed among themselves and it can produce their offsprings. Okay. Similarly, animals will be dependent on plants for food, and animals will be dependent on microorganisms for the decomposition. And microorganism will depend on plants and animals to, like suppose if a microorganism is a parasite, it will depend on other living organism for the living, right? So all the organisms will be dependent on one another, and that dependency is called as population interaction. And this interaction will not be always beneficial for both the organisms. Sometimes it may be beneficial for any one organism or both the organism. Sometimes the interaction may be harmful for any one organism or both the organism. Or sometimes it may be neutral. Neutral means it is neither beneficial nor harmful. It will not cause any harm, or it will not be like benefited by that organism also. If it is neither beneficial and nor harmful, you can say neutral organism. And harmful can be also called as detrimental. If you are saying detrimental, it represents harmful. And you can use some symbols for indicating this. If it is beneficial, then you can use the plus symbol. If it is harmful, then you can use minus symbol. And if it is neutral, then you can use 0. Okay, this is what, based on these symbols only, we are going to see some 6 different types of interaction between the organisms, and that is what we are going to discuss in this chapter. We are going to discuss some 6 different types of population interaction. Let me tell you what are the 6 interactions. You can write the name of the interactions. Monday we can see in depth the name of the interaction between the organism. And species 1, let it be species A. Another one is species B, that is the other organism which is interacting with this species A. Now put a column like this. Now the first type of interaction is the well-known interaction, parasitism. In parasitism, one organism will be benefited, another one will be affected. Second one, mutualism, also you know very well. What is mutualism? The symbiotic relationship. Here both the organisms will be benefited. And third one, I am talking about predation. In predation, one organism will get the food and that is benefited. Other organism will be affected. The prey will be affected. And fourth one, for example, you take commensalism. Do you remember commensalism? I gave you an example in Human Health and Disease chapter, commensal, Entamoeba coli. One organism will be benefited, other one will be neutral. That is, your Entamoeba coli will be benefited. Human body is neutral because it will not be neither affected nor harmful by the organism. And the fifth one is amensalism. And amensalism, no, one organism will be affected, another one will be neutral. And the last one is competition. In competition, always both the organisms will be affected. Okay, this is the usual condition. So the next one, what we are going to see is, we are going to individually discuss about all these population interaction with few examples. I'll give you some examples and I will tell you how parasitism, one organism is benefited, another one is affected. Okay, so we shall stop with this. Monday we can continue the topic. Monday I will discuss about all the 6 population interaction, and with this topic the lesson organism and population is getting over. Okay, so students, tomorrow don't waste the time. Please sit and read for your NEET exam. Well, score 360 out of 360 or at least above 300 in your bio part. Okay, I will show you all the slides. Please wait. This is the first slide. Second one. Next week test portion, obviously organism and population chapter. Next week test portion is organism and population. Second slide. Third slide. This is the third slide. Have you copied the third one? This is the fourth one. This is the fourth slide. Okay, students, fine. Thank you so much. See you all on Monday. All the best. Prepare well and write your NEET exam. Thank you.